Okay, chapter 9, senses. Let's begin with senses means eyes, ear, and then begin with eyelid. You see, we begin with eyelid. First thing, left, rub, toe, sis. It means basically it's the droops of the eyelids. And eyelid, the way you can open your eyelids, and all is particularly gaze up your eyes. It's a very common way of evaluate the muscle stress. So blepharoptosis, I'm not even sure my pronunciation, is may is all I mean often caused by muscle weakness. And again, because this motion for normal people is supposed to be rather easy, and that's why if anyone have a difficulty of making keep their eyelids open up, there's something wrong with the muscle. So it's a indicator of muscle weakness. And what can cause muscle weakness? Just mention this one. My sphenia gravis, which is autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease that the AChR is being blocked. So yeah, and then blepharitis. Blepharitis. That's inflammation of the eyelid. Yeah, so it can be caused by infection and the blockage of the oil gland, which is behind the eyelid. And keep going black. And blepha is eyelid. Blepharoplasty. This is eyelid. The eye lift. It means changing the shape of the eye by lifting the eyelid. Iris. So what is iris? If you look from up, this is the eye, and then the iris is the brown eye. Is the iris. Iris itself is a muscle. It's a muscle structure. It's a muscle structure, and then the block in the center is called pupus, and this colorful thing. People have green eyes, blue eyes, black eyes, brown eyes, all because of the color of the iris. And the iris can change the size of the hole in the center to change the pupil size in this way. In this way, it's you can adjust almost like that with the eye. Iritis means inflammation of the iris. It may can, I mean, later we'll talk about all of the itis. So there's major two things cause all the itis, the inflammations, either inflammation or autoimmune attack. And then another thing you call it conjunctivitis. That's the inflammation of the conjunctiva. What is conjunctiva? That is the this is the eyeball itself, and then the front eyeball is over by eyelid, and then here conjunctiva is the internal clear layer of the eyelid, and falling here also cover the upper, the white layer of the eyeball here. And then this part is iris. Pupil. And from this side, the pupil is actually empty, nothing there. And then we have this here, there, and then this part. This is the conjunctivitis. Conjunctivitis. Lower part. So, oh no, not conjunctivitis. Conjunctiva, and then conjunctiva got an infection, the conjunctivitis. It's common. It's very common. It's also known as the pink eye. Pink eye often caused by conjunctivitis. And what's the next one? Dark royal cystitis. So let's show the eye again. It is eye, and then when people cry or when anyone have tears, they are collected from a hole here in the center, and then collected into this tear sac and eventually go to the nasal cavity. And dacryocystitis means that some inflammation happening inside the tear sac and ultimately block this hole so tear cannot get in there. And that's result in the tearing watery eyes. So yeah, and then oculomycosis, fungal infection, and ocular eye is a broad term to describe any fungal infection of the eye. Yeah. Photophobia means super sensitive to light. Phobia normally means dislike, but in this case, it's not dislike. Now people do not like light, but rather it's more sensitive to light. So they do not feel comfortable when they stay in a very high, when they're too bright. This is a device. So this one, you can look all the way to the retina. Then drawing this eye from side here. This is the iris, and then there's a layer here. It's a layer. This layer is called retina. The light coming in from outside eventually project into the retina so that we can see things from the retina. And then how you can, in many cases, retina can go wrong. How you can tell retina is going wrong is this is called the lens. You can modify the light so they can go all the way to the retina. And then how to check the retina healthy for the ophthalmoscope. Okay, next one. Extra diarrhea. It means dry eyes. And what's the cause of it? In most cases, actually, uh, xerothymia is caused by vitamin A deficiency. And keep going. Up, ophthalmoplegia. Plegia, just mentioned in the muscle system. It means paralysis. And ophthalmoplegia means the eyeball cannot move. The muscle of the eyeball got damaged. And okay, new chapter, a new page. Here we talk about a lot of opia means the vision. So esotropia is a misalignment of the eye and say the two eyes. Normally, that's maybe the right way. And then aesopia is something like this, closer to the internal side. Aesopia. And then next one, exotropia, look on the side. So some of those will go away. The symptoms go away on its own, but some of those are not. They'll stay there. And so astropia, exotropia, and myopia. Myopia, in another word, called it the near sight. The near sight. And what's the cause of this one? Let's draw an eyeball again. Iris, and then this is called the lens. The lens is held by some muscle in capillary muscle, and then behind this is the iris, and then what is the myopia? Myopia is say you look into something, say there's a tray here, and then they put in the right space. The tray should be put here. It's reversed. It should be here. However, in the myopia, the tray is somewhere here. Now, what the cause of this? In some cases, it's caused by the overall the eyeball is elongated, and in some cases, and then when the eyeball is elongated, the real retina is somewhere here. So when the tree is still there, it's not on the clear tree is still here, but not on the retina. And then keep go to the retina, become blurred. So whenever you see things far away, become blurry. This is the myopia. And then okay, Another word is hyperopia. Hyperopia is also the farsightedness. With the farsightedness is that you cannot once these things nearby become blurry, and in some cases it's because the eyeball is shortening, and in many cases also because the muscles here, the particular muscle, are no longer that powerful, and again in this way it's a special breast myopia. When this is called like capillary muscle no longer that powerful, is a special type of the farsightedness. They call it presbyopia. Presbyopia is say is always age related, almost inevitable. People first develop this kind of things in the age of 40, in the middle 40s. And diplopia. Diplopia means you see two things. The left eye and the right eye is not aligned together. It's normally caused by the disalignment of the two eyeballs. And okay, moving. No, anything wrong with the retina disorder, collectively called retinopathy, and retinopaxy. Paxy means put back to the right position. What do you mean by this? Again, this is the right eyeball, and this is the retina. This is a good retina. However, for some reason, this good retina may go wrong. For example, this yeah, in general cases, it's filled with a gel-like fluid, and then when people is aging, this fluid will shrink. When it shrinks, the retina just no longer as the older retina. The retina may detach from the original back of the eyeball. Some of those go forward like this, and this place is filled with other fluid here. And this part will lose the sight because it's no longer on the back of it. How to treat it? Well, we can treat it. The two way. One way is to inject gas bubble to push it back. So now the retina is good. And then after pushing back, you also laser beams. Laser beams to seal the opening of the eye. So that's called retinopathy. This is the next one. Para eye. That's keratized kera means surface or epithelium, whatever. And the keratitis means the inflammation of these places. The right from this polycornea. The cornea, the front layer, clear layer of the eye, polycornea. Anything inflammation of the cornea will not only feel uncomfortable, But actually, if this area becomes not clear, not smooth anymore, not see things, and if without treatment, the keratitis may eventually lead to blindness because of loss of the cornea. And this can be treated some way easier because cornea transplantation itself is not that difficult surgery. However, it's huge shortness of the cornea. More than 10 million worldwide. More than 10 million people are waiting for cornea transplantation. There's a huge, severe shortage of cornea. Okay, let's keep moving. Scleral malacia. Malacia means soft. Scleral. What is scleral? After cornea, this is white and the tough layer that protect eyeball. Scleral. And scleral when becomes softer is called scleral malacia. And interestingly, this is actually called most caused by autoimmune disease. Or arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis is antibody generated in the joints. Eventually can come to the eyeball to damage the sclera. Next. Raw means cut open. Sclerotomy means cut open sclera. In most cases, to say treat a disease called glaucoma. What is glaucoma? Glaucoma means the fluid here inside the eyeball. It keeps in a healthy eyeball. It keeps generating fluid to nourish things inside. At the same time, there's a drainage to get rid of the actual fluid out there. However, in the case of glaucoma, still keep generating the fluid, but the drainage is mainly a drainage problem. There's no drainage, or very reduced drainage of the fluid into the eyeball. So it should increase the pressure inside the eyeball. Continuing increase pressure will damage all the cells. Eventually can make even to blindness because of the accumulation of the pressure. How to solve this issue? One of the treatment is sclerotomy to get some fluid out, reduce the pressure. Okay. Stop. Right, that iridactyl ectomy remove, what kind of thing remove part of those iris. And again, it's also related to glaucoma. And it's likely, in most cases, it's the high pressure already damaged some of the iris, and those damaged iris need to be removed. And the iridoclete. It's a function. Iridoplegia. Iridoplegia is that plegia, no movement. The iris lysis. And for the iris, it's interesting. Iris it can become larger and smaller. And largely, iris has two layers. This is called sphincter. And then this is called sphincter muscle and the contractile muscle. And once sphincter muscle contract, it becomes a dilator. Sphincter and dilator. When dilator muscle contract in the inner circle, the pupil become larger. When sphincter muscle contract, the pupil becomes smaller. And iridoplasia typically affect the sphincter for some reason, sphincter muscle. And we said sphincter muscle cannot contract, the pupil cannot shrink their pupil in response to intensive light. So the people have difficulty in feel uncomfortable in a high light, bright light. Tinnitus means people hear things that are not really there. It's tinnitus is different than, say, another kind of neural disorder. They see and hear things that does not exist. That's a central nervous system issue. And tinnitus only hear things that does not exist. And it may cause by, for example, people with loss of hearing, they have this hearing thing, and also it can maybe cause some irregular movement of the eardrum and something inside the ear. So I know tympanometry or tympanometer is the approach to test the eardrum. So I'm trying to draw ear here, and this is called the pinna. The outside of ear called the pinna, and then this is the ear canal, and then let me see color. This is an eardrum, and behind the eardrum there's another cavity here. This is called eardrum is called tympanic memory. Behind it is called tympanic cavity, and this tympanic cavity is connected to the nose. So, and through the nose, it connected from outside. So eardrum actually connected on both sides, is connected to the outside. So in both cases, the air pressure should be the same between this side and this side. However, if there is accumulation of a mucus, like blocked, this is called euthanasia. Euthanasia too, something like that. And or the accumulation of any mucus here, the eardrum can vibrate when it's sensing the air vibration with the nature of the sound. But if accumulating either air pressure or mucus behind the eardrum, the eardrum cannot vibrate. And then tympanometry is the approach to sense that's how much the capability of the eardrum to vibrate, which affect the infection of the ear. And so let's stay that brystectomy. So after the eardrum, I'll use this color. After the eardrum, there are three something. Oh yeah, you can malleus, incus, and status. So three ear bones collected, they call it ossicles. So this further transfer the sound into the inner ear. And then the last one called stapes. And in many cases, stapes form fuse with the bones nearby. It fuse the nearby bones, and stapes cannot move anymore. And this contributes some of the ear loss. I think I have a number of it. Yeah, 5 to 9% of the hearing loss. How to treat this one? Cut it off, remove it, take it off. And this approach that take it off should be This the shape of the stick is something like this. And so take this off and put it back. And I will use no color. It's artificial. Put it back artificial to treat the hearing loss. So this is the and then let's go to the next one. The next one. Not know how often this is used. Itis, inflammation, very inflammation. The bureau elaborate with elaborate. This is called the octave ear. The ear drum, all of three the ossicles together they call a middle ear. And then after here, I will use this called it cochlea. Cochlea and here above the cochlea there's a whatever semicircular canals and the vestibule together. This called the inner ear. This is the inner ear. And when I say this one, labyrinthitis means the inner ear infection. Why I call it labyrinthitis? Labyrinthitis is kind of a maze, not really a maze, but something, a long journey that making people confused. And labyrinth, and this, the cochlea is something like this. So it's very similar. That's why the inner ear is also called labyrinth. And labyrinthitis means the inner ear infection. And to be honest, I don't know if people still use this labyrinthitis a lot. I'll use the inner ear infection more. But anyway, this is the inner infection. And then acoustic neuroma. This is the these are nerves, and nerves grow here. This is a acoustic nerves or cochlear nerves or vestibular nerves, so we can learn later. But nerves grow somewhere here, a tumor. So acoustic neuroma is a tumor. It's a benign tumor. Grow somewhere here. That's okay. And then last two words again. Olfaction means smelling. Gustation means tasting. I don't really know why coming from, maybe Latin or Greek. And to be honest, nowadays it's keep changing. More and more people use directly English rather than this old word. Maybe I guess maybe it's English, but I think it's I don't know. Anyway, olfaction, gustation, smelling and tasting. That's all for this chapter. See you next time.